This is Baginoni, and here's some comic reviews for you. We have AvX 5, Action 10, Earth 2, and Harbinger 1. Now, this is like basically the relaunch of the old Harbinger series that put out by Valiant years ago. And I have to admit, this was actually a pretty decent first issue. Basically, there's this guy named Peter, and he's got this telepathic psychic power. And it's extremely overwhelming to him. Wherever he goes, he's just getting nonstop, all these people, all these thoughts. And it's very, very difficult for him to tune it out, and he basically has to self-medicate. Well, basically what he's doing is he's on the run, and he's traveling with this guy that he met in the hospital. And when I mean hospital, I don't mean like a normal hospital. They're up to some shenanigans, most likely. And basically what he wants to do is he's trying to go back to where he lived, and then he wants to, I guess you can say he wants to rekindle the love that he had with this girl who was a neighbor of his. And things don't go quite like he expected, I guess you can say. While that's going on, let's say you have the forces of evil chasing after him. Now, I'm not exactly too sure where this is going to go in terms of supervillains or anything like that, because this looks like it's a very modern world type setting, and you don't see superpowered beings just flying all over the place like Spider-Man or Superman or anything like that. Now, while I thought the story was good, the art has its moments. I don't think it's like fantastic, but I don't think it's bad either. It's enough to keep my interest, I guess you can say. But overall, I thought the first issue was really enjoyable, and I'm definitely going to get issue number 2. Alright, next up is Earth 2. This is the issue that's going to cause all the controversy. Because what you have here is, not only do you have the world that's without the trinity of heroes, and you're basically repopulating it with heroes, but this is the issue where you have Jay is announced that he's gay, and he's Green Lantern. He's going to be Green Lantern. Now, overall, the story, my pause is just, it's not that it's bad. It's a different, I guess you can say it's a different take, in that it almost reminds me of the Ultimate Universe, where you had a world with no superheroes, and suddenly superheroes start popping in. And while it's slightly different in the sense you had the heroes, and they were godlike, and they all got killed, and you have people fearing another parademon attack. So anytime they see people with costumes or abilities or things like that, they start freaking out. So it has that part of it to it, but at the same time it has that new feeling in that you have people who are becoming superheroes for the very first time. And here we have Mercury basically passing down his powers to become Flash. So overall, I mean, it's I really enjoyed it. It's I think it's going to be an interesting series so far. And sorry about that, I left you in the cliffhanger, but it's not that big of a deal because we already know that he's going to be alive, type thing. I thought this was kind of interesting, where you had a guy who looked like Clark Kent with Lois Lane getting saved by the Flash. I think the art was, the art's solid, and the story was entertaining along the way as well. And you also get the, in case I said Jay, I meant Alan. For the Green Lantern. I was thinking Jay probably because of the Flash. But we also have Mr. Terrific coming back to Earth 2. So that's, I was wondering what was going to happen with him, and they plopped him back where he belongs, so to speak. Overall, though, this was a very decent read, and I really enjoyed it. So I'm hopeful that this will be a solid, at least a solid run. Okay, Superman Action Comics number 10. Now, first of all, you have a guy named Nimrod the Hunter, which reminds me, just like the Nimrods from the X-Men, and which I was like, you couldn't think of something better. But anyways, it's basically this guy, he thinks that he's the Ultimate Hunter, and he's going to try to kill Superman, and he thinks he figured out Clark Kent's Superman and all that other stuff. While that's going on, Clark maybe does some things he shouldn't do, and he basically pays the ultimate price for it. Now, when I say the ultimate price, it just basically means that his secret identity is gone. And I was really surprised that they actually went through getting rid of his secret identity, Superman's identity, because when you read the modern parts of Superman, then he's still Clark. So I'm like, how are you going to explain that? So I'm kind of curious to see how they're going to work that out. One of the funny moments is when you had a guy that did some horrible things. He had a couple hamsters, and he's basically, well, who's going to take care of my hamsters? And Superman takes the hamsters to the Justice League, hoping that somebody there will take care of them. The story was entertaining. It was the art's good, but it's not. I don't know. I don't think it was like great, but it was enjoyable. I do like Morales' art, so I'm not really. I don't mean to smash on it too much, but overall, this was an entertaining read. And finally, it's the UGG of the week. Well, it's probably not the UGG, because we still have to get through Avengers Academy. Now, what we have, if you remember, Avengers XMen on the Moon battle. And you have Hope's power. She can't control her powers, oh my goodness. But yet, she begs Wolverine to kill her. And I'm like, do you see the problem here? Wolverine can't kill her because the minute he gets close to her, she's just going to absorb his healing powers. And enough said. I guess unless he chopped her head off, but Sabretooth even survived that. So it's like, ugh. The battle does have its moments. I'll give it that much. And the art during that fight is really decent at times. So that part is good. Now I don't like this spread here because Cap apparently throws his shield and is able to run as fast as his throwing it, or maybe it curved. I don't know. I understand what they're trying to do though. They're trying to make it a more action-packed panel, defying laws of physics and things like that. So that's fine. Well, there's the fight that's going down on the ground here on the moon. You have Iron Man and Hank Pym trying to stop the Phoenix, and things do not go as planned. This, though, is an amazing cover, so that part's good. And I know I'm kind of down on this story because it's really annoying right now. I mean, I'm going through really bad stages where I go, okay, this is entertaining, and then I go, this is the biggest piece of garbage, and then I go back to it's entertaining again. So anyways, let's give you guys your code. Here's the instructions and code. And for those of you who can't read the code, it's ATM C1 H38 HV XMen. Now, maybe I could be wrong, and this could potentially come down as one of the greatest miniseries crossover battles of all time. But I think one thing that is preventing me from enjoying this is you have a sense of start, stop, and it's because of the way they're writing it, where you have the Avengers vs. X-Men battle, and then you have the Versus book, and then you have the individual fights. And the problem is, this issue here also crosses over with the Uncanny X-Men to a point. And it's also probably going to cross over again in Versus with some of these battles. So what's happening is you're having a story that's being splintered into so many different pieces that when you're reading it on a weekly to monthly basis, these issues come out, you're not getting a nice run. What you're doing is you're getting, I guess you can say, imagine a flying meal where you have lots of extras. And what the restaurant does is, instead of going, here's your meal, what they're doing is they give you one piece, and then 20 minutes later they bring out another, and then maybe you get another one 5 minutes later, and then the appetizer comes out, it's like that kind of a mess. And I think that's kind of what's throwing me off in terms of the story development. And none of these fights really matter. I mean, we've gone through 5 issues, and not one fight mattered at all. And that's really depressing so far. I want consequence. I want things to happen. And you can say, I guess, to a certain degree that it matters here, but it really doesn't. In the sense of, well, I guess it matters in the sense that they switched part of the focus of the story, which is fine. I'm okay with that. At least they're not spoon-feeding me something that I kind of expected was going to happen. But at the same time, the fights they're not entertaining. You get, like I said, just little snippets of action and not enough punching, and not enough X-Men unconscious, not enough Avengers unconscious, not enough heroes in the hospital because they got broken limbs. That's what I want to see. Now, apparently that does happen with the Red Hulk and Psylocke. I noticed that Psylocke got her arm broken because of the Hulk, Red Hulk. So I'm like, okay, at least that's one step in the right direction, but if you really think about it, there should be more of that kind of stuff going on. Anyways, if you have any comments or questions, let me know. Rate the video up or down, let me know what you think. I'll try to read some more and put some stuff up later, so until next time.